I had a feeling we was gonna have a surprise like this. So I'm starting to tear down on this little 5.3, 4.8, whatever it is. I'm about to pull the manifolds off. Y'all take a guess on how many of these manifold bolts are gonna break off in the head. We already got one there that was already broke off. I got one that come out without a problem. But about to pull the rest of them off and do the other side. Y'all take a guess on how many will break. Considering this motor's older model and bolts are pretty rusty, and we already got one that was broke already, I'm gonna say we're gonna have at least 3 or 4 altogether. All right, so surprisingly, we only had 2 of them break off, one on each side. Unsurprisingly, it was the 2 on the back here on each side. Right there, as you can see, that one on the very back, and then the other side on the very back. And that's pretty much my experience. It's always them very back ones that break, you know, the hardest ones to get to, especially if it's in the truck. I actually think I got a couple that's broke on the very back of my truck. Well, making progress. We got some parts piling up now. The more I tear into this thing, the more certain I am this is at least a 200,000 mile motor. Maybe 200,000 miles and sit under a tree for a couple years. Man, she's nasty. I guess I'm gonna try to snatch these heads off and we'll see what the cylinders and all that looks like. All right, let's see what it's gonna look like under the valve cover. Holy shit. Maybe 300,000 miles. Maybe I was a little low on the 200,000. Man, maybe somebody just used some shit oil and never changed it. All right, let's see what the passenger side looks like. I've seen one side be really nasty and the other side be really clean before, so let's see. Nope, same thing over here. Good and nasty. Not quite as nasty as the other side, but I don't know. I'd say 250,000 miles for this side, 350 for that side, about that. All right, so we got all our parts here. Been gathering up parts for the last couple months, and this is pretty much everything we're gonna need for now, you know, as far as getting the motor ready to go in the truck. Now, I mean, once we get it in, we'll need a bunch of other little odd and end things, but this is the major stuff. You know, we got a shift kit, Corvette servo, we got some mounts. I'm pretty sure them was for that S10 over there, my buddies. Anybody's wondering what's going on with the S10, I would say don't expect any videos on it anytime soon. It's pretty much on a backlog for a while. A buddy of mine, he's in kind of a tight spot right now, so I doubt we'll be doing anything on that rig soon. But anyway, we got some heads here. These are just 862 heads, basically the same thing that's on the motor. They just got a slight little bit of port work on the exhaust side, none on the intake side, which don't make no sense. But anyway, look, we got these 862 heads, and they do got new valves and seals and all that in them, so we're gonna throw them on there since the heads is on it. They're obviously old and wore out, could probably need a valve job and all themselves, and these are already done, so we're gonna put these on here. And obviously we got a cam, some valve springs, some seals, and then head gaskets, some bottom end gaskets, pretty much a whole gasket set for the motor. And then we got a Circle D torque converter, and this is our cam, stage 2 truck cam, 553 lift on both sides, 262, 268 duration, 212, 218 at 50 thousandths. Small little cam, nothing too crazy. Might be a pretty decent little truck. And then our converter, I think they built it to match the cam. It's a 3,000 to 3,200 RPM converter, Circle D. Pretty good converters, brand new, ready to go. Yep. But that's all our parts. This is the first time I went through everything. They've been just bringing them over here and putting them in the truck as he's been getting everything. But this is pretty much everything for the motor, you know, and then a couple little transmission parts. But yep, I got the motor over there tore down. I just got to get the heads pulled off, and then we'll get it all cleaned up, and then we'll start putting all this stuff together. But this video is basically, this is just going to be a update video, letting y'all know what we got and where we're going to be headed from here. But We ain't gonna be doing none of this in this video. It's already about dark. I've just been tearing down the little motor over there so we can get ready for all this stuff. I just figured I'd show y'all what all we got, go over everything, give you a little update. I'm gonna try to pull them heads off the motor. I've been charging up my impact in there, and then got lazy. I don't want to use hand tools, so I'm waiting on my impact to charge up, and then we'll finish tearing down the little motor, find out if it's a 4.8 or a 5.3. Supposed to be a 5.3. We'll find out soon enough. Got some good parts here. It ought to be a good little motor once we get it all tore down, cleaned up, and put back together. Take a little gander here. Done messed the box all up. I don't know if that's the same. I don't know what valve springs these are, but I mean, it's got new seals and all, and it looks just like them. So I don't know what valve springs them are, but I guess we'll put these on here since it's the ones that come with the cam. They obviously match the cam. And then here's a cam. I ain't gonna take it out the box or nothing else. I'm sure y'all all know what a cam looks like. And little Ranger. Got a few little things for it. Nothing really, just some oil, intake gasket. So I got a head gasket over there in my truck. Had to get it the next day. They had to order it, but we got intake gaskets and a head gasket, or one head gasket, so we can put the motor together. This thing's gonna be kind of held up too, because the transmission I had, I'll just throw the clips in, y'all can look at it. But yeah, I had to get my money back on the transmission, so we're gonna have to find him another transmission. But I got one that we're gonna use for mock-up for now anyhow. So, but this thing will be kind of on the back burner a little bit, not too much. But for now, we're gonna be mostly fooling with the Nissan. You know, we might jump to this and my daddy's truck back and forth. Yep, what I tell you. Yeah, and he said it had nice, pretty red fluid in it. Yeah, pretty red fluid, my ass. More like water. Yeah. Yeah, there ain't no way in hell this transmission's good. Yep. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna be no good. Yeah, he definitely gonna have to give me my money back on this thing. But we'll use it for just to mock up for now anyhow. But yeah, he'll definitely be hearing from me later on today. As soon as he gets home, I'll be pulling up on that joker. You leave that. That's not looking good. I was kind of worried it was going to be a surprise, kind of like this. Yeah, definitely been sitting out in the weather, getting rained in or something for a while. This crap's been sitting in here for fucking couple years anyhow, because it's nice and pitted. It's pitted good. I mean, that is rough, and it is a 4.8. You know, flat top pistons. 4.8 5.3 has dish top pistons. These are completely flat, so it is a 4.8, and it is looking like probably a piece of junk. That's pretty rough. Get some light going here so y'all can see. But yeah, you can see, I mean, there ain't no way that'll clean up. Yeah, this thing's had water sitting in it, I would say, for quite a while, at least a couple years. I had a feeling we was gonna have a surprise like this, seeing as how bad it looked up here. You know, I had a feeling, had that bad feeling. I'm sure the other side looks the same. Oh yeah, look at that, water sitting down in there. Yeah, this thing's had water sitting in it, I would say, for at least a year or two at the bare. I'd say probably 2 years at the bare minimum. You don't just get pitting like that overnight, that's for sure. But oh man, that sucks. I don't know how much he paid for this motor. I know he bought this motor and that transmission right there together. It's a combo deal. So I mean, hell, if this is what the motor looks like and it was supposed to be good, I can only imagine the transmission, because it's supposed to be good too. I mean, you know, if this is supposed to be good and that's supposed to be good, I can only imagine what inside of that looks like. I mean, transmission might be fine. I ain't even gonna worry about pulling that other head off. I know it probably looks exactly the same, but I reckon I'm gonna get a hold of my buddy that owns all this and see what he wants to do. I'm sure he ain't gonna be too happy about this. I know I wouldn't be, especially if I bought it as a good motor. And this is what you find out. I mean, it's not even a 5.3, it's a freaking 4.8. But I mean, that ain't no big deal. Wouldn't matter if it was a 4.8 or 5.3. What matters or not is if it's runnable, and this motor here is definitely not runnable. You know, when we picked this motor up, I remember trying to roll it over. I couldn't get it to roll over by hand, which I figured it might have just been because it was all together, had the plugs in it and everything, you know. You know, if it's a good motor with a good compression all, might be kind of tough to roll it over by hand, but yeah, definitely wasn't just because it had good compression. It was more like it's locked up. So yeah, just a quick little video, more like an update really. Just figured I'd show y'all something. Figured something better than nothing. But I'm gonna end this one off here. Y'all just like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more. Later.